Netflix canceled Fate, the Winx Saga, right when its story was about to get a whole lot bigger. Bloom had crossed into the realm of darkness to find her mother. Beatrix was dead, though a shadow capable of raising the dead waited beside her grave. Alfea was left without a headmistress, and Brian Young had already teased that a third season would finally bring in Icy and Darcy. We'll never know exactly how that story would have ended, but enough pieces were left behind for us to try and put it back together. Brian Young's statements, the graphic novels that officially continued the series, the original Winx Club mythology, and the theories that appeared after the cancellation all let us imagine a possible third and final season. Not exactly the one Netflix would have filmed, but a story built from everything they had already set up. And it starts right where the series left off. Bloom opens her eyes in the realm of darkness. Standing in front of her is the woman she'd spent her whole life searching for, her mother. For 1,000 years, Marion has remained isolated there after losing control of the dragon flame and causing the deaths of thousands. But Bloom discovers that her exile was hiding something more. The realm of darkness isn't just another dimension. It's the border between the world of the living and whatever comes after. A place where magic works differently, and where ancient forces have been waiting for centuries. Among them is one far older than Alfea, Lord Darkar. In the original Winx Club mythology, Darkar was the shadow phoenix, the force opposite the great dragon. If the flame represents creation and life, Darkar represents the void that tries to consume them. Marion has known that threat for centuries. When she arrived in the realm of darkness after putting Bloom in stasis, she discovered that Darkar was trying to break through into the world of the living. And the very same magic that had turned Marion into a danger was also one of the few forces capable of holding him back. Her exile became a vigil. For centuries, she used what remained of the flame to keep the border between both worlds stable, knowing that leaving that place could open a door no one at Alfea even knew existed. That's why she never returned. The shadow Sebastian found in that dimension was an extension of Darkar's power, a creature able to cross the border its true master still couldn't. And when Sebastian opened the portal, he shattered the balance Marion had maintained for centuries. The shadow escaped. Darkar regained contact with the world of the living, and Bloom's arrival finally weakened a prison that had been cracking for 1,000 years. While Marion tries to teach her daughter that controlling the flame doesn't mean suppressing it, the shadow reaches Beatrix's grave. The earth begins to move. Beatrix starts breathing again, but coming back from death has a price. The magic keeping her alive also keeps her connected to the shadow. Darkar can feel what she feels, see what she sees, and when he needs to, take control. Before she died, Beatrix had discovered she had 2 sisters, Isabel and Darcy. The third season would have finally turned those names into what Brian Young had already promised, Icy and Darcy. The 2 of them arrive at Alfea looking for Beatrix and find a sister brought back to life by an entity that promises to give them the answers they've always been searching for. That's how the Trix of Fate would finally be born. Not as 3 villains who suddenly show up to conquer the school, but as 3 sisters bound by a past none of them fully understands. Beatrix knows Darkar didn't resurrect her out of compassion, but dying a second time isn't an option she's willing to accept either. And he knows exactly how to use that fear. Alfea isn't ready for another war either. Without Dowling or Rosalind, the first attacks from creatures coming out of the forest are enough for Queen Luna to send Solarian soldiers and turn the school into a military fortress. Then the figure Brian Young had been saving as one of the big mysteries of the third season finally appears. Faragonda, a powerful fairy capable of standing up to Luna and temporarily taking over as headmistress of Alfea, bringing back one of the most important names from the animated series. And her first priority is finding Bloom. Weeks have passed since she disappeared. Sky is still waiting for any sign. Stella refuses to accept that Beatrix is gone for good. Aisha tries to hold together a group that works less and less like it used to. Musa is the one who finds the first clue. For far too long, she'd wanted to get rid of her powers because feeling everyone's emotions was unbearable. Now she understands that same sensitivity can reach places no one else can enter. If the realm of darkness is full of souls and memories, a mind fairy might be able to hear someone from the other side. Musa stops running from her magic, and she feels Bloom. She's alive. The problem is getting to her. Gray knows blood magic that can interfere with the barriers between dimensions. It's exactly the kind of magic they need, and exactly the person Aisha doesn't want to trust again. The search for Bloom forces the two of them to work together. Aisha doesn't forgive him all of a sudden. She simply accepts that trusting someone in the middle of a battle doesn't mean forgetting what they did. Flora also discovers that the creatures surrounding Alfea aren't attacking at random. The scars from the scrapers still remind her of what happened with Sebastian, but this time she doesn't try to prove she's not afraid. She admits it and keeps going anyway. Studying the creatures, she realizes they all react to the same magical presence. Beatrix. Her resurrection has turned her into a kind of beacon between both worlds. And Stella decides to go looking for her. When she finally finds her, Beatrix seems the same as always. Arrogant, unpredictable, incapable of admitting she needs help. But there are moments when her eyes change. Her voice, too. The shadow is inside. Stella tries to break that connection with her light magic and makes the worst possible mistake. Darkar answers from the other side. The darkness passes from Beatrix to Stella, and for the first time, Alfea has to fight one of its own. The creatures breach the school's defenses, following a corrupted Stella who uses her illusions to spread chaos. Alfea is partially destroyed while Aisha, Musa, Flora, Terra, Sky, Riven, and the specialists try to contain her without killing her. It's the war of shadows that the comics would later develop, and Bloom isn't there to stop it. From the realm of darkness, Bloom feels every attack on Alfea through the flame. She wants to go back. But doing so means leaving Marion right after finding her. Bloom tries to convince her to come back with her. After 1,000 years, she should be able to return to the world she left behind. Marion knows she can't. Her magic is part of the barrier that keeps that dimension stable. If both of them cross the portal while Darkar is still connected to the world of the living, nothing will stop him from following. Bloom then understands that finding her mother doesn't necessarily mean getting her back. Marion had put her daughter in stasis, believing that would be her final act as a mother. She never imagined she'd have the chance to see her grow up, talk to her, or explain why she disappeared. And Bloom, who had spent her whole life believing that finding her parents would tell her who she was, discovers she no longer needs her past to define her. While Gray, Musa, and Faragonda manage to open a breach from Alfea, Sky manages to get far enough through the breach to find Bloom. He doesn't need to rescue her. He just needs to show her there's a way back. Marion asks Bloom to cross. She'll stay in the realm of darkness as long as the breach remains open. Bloom refuses at first. After searching for her entire life, she doesn't want to say goodbye only days after finding her. But Marion reminds her that protecting her was the reason all of this began. This time she isn't sending a defenseless child away. She's letting her daughter go because she knows she can finish what she couldn't. Bloom hugs her. Before crossing, Marion makes her promise one thing: that if the moment comes to choose between saving her or closing Darkar's door forever, she won't look back. Bloom crosses, and both of them know they've probably just said goodbye for the last time. But Darkar was waiting for that moment. The breach opened from Alfea, combined with the energy of the flame, finally allows him to manifest in the other world. The shadow disappears. It's no longer needed. Lord Darkar has arrived, and the Trix realize too late that he never wanted to free them. Beatrix was a vessel, Icy and Darcy were tools. His true goal was always the dragon flame. Darkar begins absorbing Alfea's magic. The more power they use against him, the stronger he becomes. Bloom responds the way she always has, with more fire. It doesn't work. and she finally understands what her mother was trying to teach her. The flame and Darkar are opposing forces, creation and void. Feeding one of them forever only keeps the conflict alive. So the Winx stop attacking him separately. Musa breaks the mental influence weighing on Stella. Flora and Terra immobilize the creatures protecting Darkar. Aisha pulls the Trix away from the center of the battle, while Grey keeps the connection to the realm of darkness open. And Stella reaches Beatrix. This time she doesn't try to save her with magic. She asks her to choose. Beatrix looks at Icy and Darcy, the sisters she'd been searching for her whole life. Then she looks at Stella, and she understands that Darkar can only remain in the other world because the magic that resurrected her keeps a connection to death open. Beatrix knows what breaking it means. She does it anyway. The shadow leaves her body, and the life it had lent her disappears with it. For the second time, Beatrix falls into Stella's arms. But this time she dies knowing she finally found her family. Icy and Darcy turn against Darkar. Not because they've suddenly become heroes, but because they understand he used their sister from the very beginning. For a few seconds, the three Trix fight on the same side. Beatrix's fall weakens the bond between Darkar and the realm of darkness. Bloom could close the breach and lock him away again. But that would mean going back to the beginning. Darkar would still be waiting on the other side, and Marion would have to keep maintaining his prison. Bloom refuses to repeat the cycle. Instead of closing the realm of darkness, she decides to permanently break the connection that allows Darkar to reach the world of the living. But to do that, she also has to destroy what holds both ends together: the dragon flame. Bloom stops holding it back. The fire races through her body and spreads through the Winx's convergence. Musa, Stella, Flora, Terra, and Aisha channel alongside her a magic that no longer belongs to just one fairy. On the other side of the breach, Marion understands what her daughter is trying to do. And for the last time, she uses the part of that same flame that still lives inside her. Mother and daughter hold the fire from opposite sides. Darkar is trapped between both forces while Icy and Darcy attack from one side and the Winx maintain the convergence from the other. The border begins to collapse. Then Bloom understands the price. If she completely destroys the bond between both worlds, Marion won't be able to cross it either. She tries to stop. Her mother won't let her. For 1,000 years, Marion had lived convinced that her story ended when she left her daughter to protect her. Now she knows that wasn't true. Bloom survived. She found her own home. She found a family. And she went much farther than Marion ever could with the flame. For the first time since she met her, Bloom sees her mother smile. Marion asks her to finish it. Bloom releases everything that remains of the dragon flame. The fire tears through Darkar and destroys his connection to the world of the living. His form begins to disintegrate. The realm of darkness separates permanently from the other world. And for one last moment, Bloom sees Marion among the flames, not trapped, not running, at peace. Then the breach disappears. Darkar's presence vanishes with it, and the dragon flame stops burning inside Bloom. For the first time in 1,000 years, there is no longer a bearer destined to contain the darkness, because there is no longer any door left to guard. Months later, Alfea still carries the scars of the battle. Beatrix receives a new grave. Icy and Darcy are forced to answer for what they did, but for the first time they are free from Darkar. Queen Luna withdraws her troops. Faragonda remains at the head of Alfea. Musa stops seeing her powers as a disease. Flora keeps her scars without hiding them. Aisha and Grey decide to start over without pretending the past disappeared. Terra and Kat stay together. Riven stays close to Musa without needing to define yet what they are. Stella, for her part, learns to accept that she couldn't save Beatrix. She keeps her memory, but stops carrying the guilt of her death and begins building her own path away from Queen Luna's expectations. For the first time, the Winx aren't together because a new threat forces them to be. They simply keep choosing each other, and Bloom returns to the place where it all began. Marion has disappeared along with the last connection to the realm of darkness. Beatrix is gone for good, and the dragon flame, the power that defined both of their lives, no longer belongs to Bloom. She didn't get back everything she had lost, but she no longer needs to keep searching for who she is. Sky finds her in front of Alfea's lake. For years, Bloom had lived between two worlds, too different to feel human, and too dangerous to feel like she belonged in the other world. Now there is no longer any portal she has to cross. Bloom takes Sky's hand and walks back with him toward Alfea, where her friends are waiting. Not because that's the world she was destined for, but because, after spending her whole life looking for a place to belong, she was finally able to choose it. Let me know in the comments which other series or movie you'd like us to write the ending for. And remember, if you enjoy this kind of video, the best way to support us is by leaving a like, sharing, and subscribing. See you in the next one.